You take it away.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. And Craig, thank you for that wonderful speech. I made so many notes during this that I decided I would have to get out my little lectern and put my notes down so I could face you and speak to you about all of these wonderful points that I have to make. First, the speech value of this. And of course, I'm going off of a ballot. And so there are certain categories I'm looking at. And the first one is speech value. And that is something that does the content provide value for us? Yes, it absolutely does. This is a topic that we all need to hear. We need to love our life. That's very critical for all of us. Another thing I wanted to point out is under the correctness category about how you correctly speak, you had great diction. I heard every single word. There was no confusion over what the words you were saying. So I wanted to commend you on that. You didn't use the word of the day, but that's okay. That's not required in a contest. Speech development. I wanted to comment on this. The rule of thumb at a Toastmaster speech, or any speech for that matter, is you tell us what you're going to tell us, and then you tell us, and then you tell us what you told us. Now, in this case, you sandwiched your speech with quotes, a quote from Thoreau at the beginning and a quote from Kerouac at the end, and that worked. That's great. Did you follow that rule of thumb? Not necessarily. So at the beginning, I was a little confused about where you might be going with this, but I easily caught on to that. Another category I wanted to bring up is physical. How did you approach the audience? What did you look like? Did you have gestures? And you did great in this category. One thing I'd like to suggest is it looked like at times you were looking off to the side and maybe off to this side. I'm not sure if you were looking at your notes or maybe you were practicing looking at the audience, which would be a good thing to do as well if you're in a live audience situation. But I thought that maybe you might have been looking at your notes and not directly at the camera. So if you're doing a Zoom thing, the audience is right here, not off to the side. Another category is voice. And I focused in on your vocal variety. There were times when you had great vocal variety where you had excitement. You showed the love that you have in your life. But there was also this category where I'd call your normal speech. And your normal speech stays much more monotone, stays in this kind of a range. And I would recommend that you speed it up a little bit or slow it down just in that normal speech. Mannerisms is another one, or manner of the speech, rather. And there were times when I thought, again, kind of getting into that vocal variety, there were times when there's breaks in your speech or your sentence. And I might encourage you, Craig, to make it more fluid somehow. And this might come with more practice. This might come with just simply relaxing. I'm not sure what it might be, but there are ways you can try to make going back to this concept of normal voice, your normal voice more fluid. 2 more points I want to make. The conclusion was great. Trying to read my notes. One thing, but I would like you to do is give us one more subtle hint that you're wrapping things up, either a short pause or simply the words "in conclusion." Well, the best thing I liked about your speech, Craig, was your smile. You were excited to get into this, and we saw that excitement in you. Good luck this weekend, Craig.